It's a rivalry that spans 3/4
of a century, and with each passing year, the memories grow. Last season was no different. It was filled with intense moments. The Gophers and Sioux meet for the 268th time and look to add to the memories next on FSN North. Only 6 years old, the memories are warm ones for the Golden Gophers at the new Ralph, and at this, the coldest night of the season, the fire will burn like 11,000 torches inside where they've been encouraged to wear green, and yes, drink green beer at reduced prices. What about this storied rivalry? The last chapter was last year when the Golden Gophers 2 years ago roared into the Ralph Engelstad Arena. Ryan Patolny and Danny Irvin provided some home cooking, scoring 5 goals of their own in back-to-back 4-3 wins. And the Golden Gophers then went on to win 21 of the next 22 games and win the championship. Expectations were high for both of these teams, and they are both just struggling around the 500 mark. The Fighting Sioux ranked 8th in the country, and the Golden Gophers for the second weekend out of the top 15. They were picked to win the WCHA and finish second place, but the Fighting Sioux have split every series this year, and the Golden Gophers are a solid 2 games below 500 in league play. Hi again, everyone. Along with Doug Woog, I'm Frank Mazzacco. And Doug, perhaps because it's been 2 years since the Gophers have been here, these folks are really waiting for this series to get underway.
Well, they felt they got cheated last year, and they probably did. We all did, because this is one of the best rivalries of all sport. You can expect some fireworks, and you can expect the unexpected.
Well, boy, we sure had the unexpected last year. We'll take you back to game 2 of the regular season. This is Robbie Bina. He scores a goal from Dinkytown on Jeff Frazee, and it was part of a weekend series sweep for the Fighting Sioux. Their dot line, Duncan, Oshie, Taves accounted for 16 points and 7 goals at Mariucci Arena. Then it was the Golden Gophers' turn to turn the table. Championship game, WCHA Final 5, the classic diving play by Blake Wheeler to get Minnesota the Broadmoor Championship. But it was only 1 weekend later in Denver. Kevin Porter from behind the net in the NCAA West Regionals. Chris Porter would stuff in the winning goal, and the Fighting Sioux would go on to the Frozen Four in St. Louis. So here at the Ralph this year, they'll park it, crank it up once more. No home cooking this time, but the rivalry is as intense as ever.
You ready? Let's go! This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
And we thank you for remembering our names and remembering that this is Friday night, and it's time for Golden Gopher Hockey with Doug Wood, Kevin Gorg. I'm Frank Mazzacco. And let's go right away, Doug, to our McDonald's game plan.
Well, Minnesota says DDD. That's triple D. It means defense in all 3 zones. It means playing without the puck. North Dakota, quick forwards, jump on those Gopher defensemen. We don't know how well they'll play with that type of pressure. Minnesota and North Dakota sustain, but control emotion, because this is a highlight series, an emotional series. You got to keep it under wraps.
And our pregame show, as we take a look at our Northland Ford goaltenders, Kevin Gorg said it best. Jeff Frazee has to keep a lid on things here for the early going. Frazee 1 game over 500, and in his career against North Dakota, he has played 3 games. He has a win and 2 losses. And at the other end, Jean-Philippe Lamoureaux will be in goal, and the junior goaltender 2 games above 500. But the key numbers are his goals against average and his saves percentage, which are far better than his team's record, and that says a lot about his goaltending. The other thing that says a lot about his goaltending is that he's played 98% of the minutes of the Fighting Sioux season. They're riding one horse. Doug, here are the Gopher lines tonight.
Well, not much difference than we've seen recently. Gordon, Wheeler, and Barabel, that'll be a big line for the Gofs. Lucia's moved up to the second line with Oposo and Flynn, Hopeful, White, and Howe. And then we'll finish with Pohl and Kaufman.
There's a look at the all-time series for the Golden Gophers. Doing fairly well here at the Ralph, but the Fighting Sioux with 3 of the last 4 victories, including the 2 at Mariucci Arena. Remember, they only played twice last year. Sophomore defenseman Dave Fisher playing the puck around, and it's jammed up on the near side as Matt Watkins goes after it. He's a 5th-round pick of Dallas. Watkins, number 20 for the Fighting Sioux, trying to battle for it, and it's played by Fisher around. Now Peltier up on the far side. That took a hop away from Ben Gordon. Fisher back after the puck. Now a big hit there thrown by Blake Wheeler. And Derek Peltier has Watkins tied up, and then another bump on Watkins. And in the opening 39 or 40 seconds here, there's a lot of grinding along the back rail in the Minnesota end. A block at the point. Here's Bina skipping another shot. This one misses the target. Now in front for Duncan, right in front, and that shot goes high. The tip try there by Ryan Duncan. Duncan still with the puck. Circles, shoots through a screen. It's off the skate and hit the skate of TJ Oshie. There's a pass set up in front for Duncan, and then it hopped right off his stick. And this line can be and has been dazzling on their first shift.
Wow, I'll tell you, you saw #1 line. Ryan Duncan, Vandervelde, and Oshie really put the pressure. Minnesota not complete a pass, however. Watkins, Kipe, and Franklin, who's a good young player. Malone, the young player as well. Martinson, Zajac, Kozak, Trupp, the young player with some skill, and Brad Miller. So they got them mixed up pretty good, except for that big line you just saw. Ryan Duncan, Vandervelde, and Oshie.
We have the 2+2 system. Our referees tonight, the veterans, John Campion, Derek Shepard. Note that when North Dakota played Wisconsin earlier this year, these 2 guys were the referees. There were 90 minutes in penalties, 50 of them on misconducts.
Well, look at him. He's back on the ice again. That first group is right back out there. Oshie, Duncan, Vandervelde. I don't understand that.
They don't hardly come up for a breath of air. Here's Flynn to play it around, and it's up on the Duncan, getting a piece of it, and then shovels it down the rink. It won't go far enough for icing, and Frazee is out to play for Tony Lucia. He takes a bump out at center. Now Che Genoway, who was a last-minute addition to the lineup. He's been battling through some injuries, playing it into the Minnesota end. Shoveled off the glass and out of the zone and dumped all the way down the rink by Patrick White. It bobbles to the side of Lamoureaux, and now Mike Hofelin on the forecheck. This is Howe. Gets stapled there pretty good by Brad Malone. Howe in front, and White shot. Deflect behind the net. Now a stuff-in try by Hopeful, then he gets stuck behind the net. And Minnesota getting pretty gritty right around the North Dakota cage. Our headlines for tonight's action and our broadcast, it certainly will be another star-studded matchup. A lot of talented players on these 2 teams. And what is happening next in this series will be one of the headlines. We can't tell you what it is because generally you don't know. Very much unexpected. Don't forget, folks, text your questions to 612-860-GOF.
Well, Howe just gave White a perfect pass in front. White banged it off the goalie. Lamoureaux had a good chance for the Gofs. Good shift here by the 2nd or 3rd line, depending on how you want to call it.
Now Bina from behind the net. Shoveling it ahead, and it's tipped at center ice by Darcy Zajac into the Minnesota end. Zajac couldn't control it. Hopeful gets it for Minnesota, not a center. And from center ice, Hopeful will slip it in, and all 5 Minnesota players change on the go. Bina from behind his net. Pass on the far side. A nice check there by Tom Pohl. Threw one into Darcy Zajac. Dumped down the rink again. And Bina from behind the net. Oposo in on the forecheck. Bina can't get it out thanks to 2 blocks. First by Oposo, then by Pohl. Oposo battling through a couple of hooks in there, and the puck comes back out at center ice. From center, it is dumped in by Andrew Kozak. Frazee playing it high off the glass and all the way out of the zone.
Oposo's got this 4th line as a center. He looks like he's going to jump in those situations.
Evan Kaufman in on the first hit, digs the puck off the rail to Oposo. Now back for Pohl. And as Lamoureaux covers up, Pohl is right there to get one last jab at it. Now in a Pohl and another spelling, our P-O-double-L. Our question to you tonight, folks, where do you think is the best fan atmosphere in the WCHA or the country? Ralph Engelstad Arena, the National Hockey Center, or the Kohl Center. Text us A if you like the Ralph, B if you like the NHC, or C if you like Badgers home turf. And yes, Mariucci Arena has been left off the list. It was on the short list, but it didn't make the final cut. Folks are a little too reserved there for a great fan atmosphere. Watkins a little slow getting up after a collision in the corner, but he seems to be fine now.
He was looking for a little penalty, and he never got it.
Wheeler wheeling out of his own end, gets a hard shot off. Big save by Lamoureaux. Nice release again by Wheeler to the line, and now for bear ball, and it's off his skate. Back at the line for Shack. That shot comes on, it's knocked down. And back to center ice come the Fighting Sioux. Cade Fairchild and Stu Bickle are back for the Golden Gophers. Duncan is docked down by Bickle, and Bickle's going to go. That's where speed will draw a penalty. And then, my bad, folks, I'm sorry, it's Derek Peltier.
Yeah, he called him for tripping, but I don't know about that.
Marathon phenomenon is going on now.
Derek Peltier kicks a penalty. Well, I tell you what, for that angle, did not appear like it was a penalty. Peltier was a little excited, didn't think it was a good call. Minnesota needs to kill this penalty and not let the Sioux get up early in this game.
Puck played up at the high point there by Taylor Chorney, number 4. He'll be one of their dangers. There's a pass across the goal mouth. And it hops loose. Fisher after the loose puck. Vandevelde with a check on him. And Lucia shorthanded to center. Will throw one in on Lamoureaux, who fought that one off.
And then a little knuckle effect to it.
Now Chorney had a problem with it and gave it away at the line. And that all thanks to the play behind the net of Kyle Oposo. Our Toyota key stat tonight, a special display for the Fighting Sioux. They have accumulated over 20 minutes in penalties per game, including that batch out there in Wisconsin, but their penalty kill is still 5th best in the nation. The Gophers' power play, on the other hand, is only 50th in the country, and that's why this is a critical situation on special teams. Jammed up and behind the net, Miller. And got away from Miller. Here's Brad Miller again. Gets a little flip pass there from Ryan Martins, and it's back out of the zone.
Brad Miller was standing below the goal line. If he'd have been above the goal line, he could have walked right out and had a 2-on-1 against the weak side D from Minnesota. We talked about that with the Gophers, where the guy on the goal line stands there. By the time he gets it, everybody collapses.
Quite a drop-off in from their first power play unit to their second. But then again, when you've got guys like Oshie and Chorney and Duncan out there, can be expected no matter what the roster.
And I'm sure they're getting about 2/3 or 3/4 of the power play, even though they might be equal in number, not in time.
Taken away by Kaufman, 2-on-1, pulled down the middle. Kaufman shooting. Oh, what a save by Lamoureaux! Flicked it away like he was flicking away a nap.
I think he's pretty good upstairs.
Paul got it as far as the line, but could not bring it past Robbie Bina, who comes back the other way, and it's offside at the Minnesota line.
Minnesota having the best of the chances, only one, but it was a dandy. Minnesota scoring only one shorthanded goal all year. Had a great opportunity here. Nice position by Lamoureaux, stood right there. Like you said, Frank, didn't bobble, didn't flinch, just plucked it right out like taking an apple off a tree. Look at him. Oh! Not too bad. Minnesota had a great chance.
He might have rather controlled that rebound a little bit differently, but given the placement of that shot, to get that glove up there and flick it away, a good move in itself.
Interesting part, our scoreboard says Minnesota 6 shots. The boys in green and black and white with no shots. We believe the scoreboard.
Well, they've just changed the color of the lights here. I don't know what's going on, but there's a significant discussion down. And the penalty box door open for the Fighting Sioux. So with 7 seconds left on the Peltier penalty, we wait to see what's happening.
Like you say, I don't know what the reason for the penalty box to be open on the Sioux side. Nobody's going in. Or are they in and somebody's gone, Frank?
All right. Yeah, the horn just sounded because nobody went to the box. And Derek Shepard comes over to the bench and he says, somebody get over there, and it's going to be Brad Miller. Well, we may be the last to find out what's going on.
Certainly not the first. Minnesota will go on.
All right, 2-minute men on the ice.
Okay, Minnesota will be on the power plays right now.
Peltier steps out in the Gophers power play. which has not been a high point this year. Oh, and Bina got crushed. Jake Barabal blasted him a good one.
Well, they're both about the same size, being a little thicker.
A drop pass by Howe, and the Gophers bring it to center. Here's Barabal to get it as far as the line, and he got flattened. What a check there by Joe Finley.
Well, I'll tell you, Finley's not the same size.
No.
He's
twice the size.
6'7".
Wow. Good hit. And offside by a country mile at the line. Wheeler was still way back inside the face-off circle.
Minnesota will bring their second power play unit on. Fish will be at the blue line with Peltier, Lucia, Glenn, Naposo.
There's the first little hit. No, I mean the big hit by the little guy. And then that big hit on the little guy.
There. Finley started here when he's 17 years old. He's only 20. Seems like he's been here before the building was put together.
6'7", 247 pounds, and he's down 5 pounds from last year.
Edina, I believe he's from Edina, Minnesota originally.
Indeed he is. And played at least 1 year at Sioux Falls. Here's Fisher. Lucia. Peltier. And he slapped that one right into Oshie. Still in the zone, and that one might have caught a little metal. A Kyle Oposo shot from about 40 feet away. Lucia looking for a goal mouth pass as Oposo was streaking by. Oposo is covered by Genoway. Oposo gets a piece of it. As up on the dasher, Lucia gets a piece of it. And finally driven out of the zone.
Minnesota getting a couple chances. Like you said, Frank, either off the ironer or Lamoureaux got a piece of it. Couldn't tell quite because on the opposite side. Minnesota did get a couple of whacks that were decent.
And the rush led now by White from center ice, who dumps it in.
Third line for the Gophers. They're going to play out the power play with a third line.
Well, Lamoureaux made that one a little adventurous from behind the net. A block at the far point by Kevin Weirs. And the bench minor penalty to the Fighting Sioux is over, so each team has killed its first penalty and power play for the other side. This is R.J. Anderson putting it in deep. And Lamoureaux is there to scramble and cover up. Minnesota nothing, North Dakota nothing. Philippe Lamoureaux, Country Insurance, who's hot. No question there. His goals against average 4th in the nation. Saves percentage 5th in the nation.
I saw his two grandmothers today.
His two grandmothers.
Yeah, the G-Force they call them. Mrs. Soley, Mrs. Lamoureaux, and the mom. They were all jacked up. Not even afraid when their grandson's in that net. Feel pretty confident. That was at the Booster Club meeting, which was kind of fun up at the old Alaris, or the new Alaris Sports Center.
Grab at the line and then played ahead. Here's Anderson to knock it around. Weir's got a piece of it. Picked out of the corner there by Evan Trupp right across the goal mouth and then wrapped away. Evan Trupp, number 19, a freshman, and part of a rather small freshman class for the Fighting Sioux. But they're very high on him, especially. Here's Wheeler on a rebound, puts it through the crease. Boy, if Minnesota getting the chances down around Philippe Lamoureaux. And the scoreboard here has just, now whether it's official or not, we don't know. They've just put their first shot on goal up on the board on North Dakota's side. Short passes get Kyle Oposo to center ice. He gets knocked down at center, and the check by Ryan Martin. Off the glass and out of the zone all the way down the rink. Icing. Yes.
Well, you're right, Frank. Minnesota's in there.
One reason Grandma and Grandma are relaxing is because Philippe Lamoureaux has been playing regularly, and now he has tied Billy Sauer with these consecutive goaltending starting appearances. 39 each of them. The all-time leader, UMD's Brant Nicklin back in 96 and 98, who has 76, and I wonder if that will ever be approached. Current streak right now has these two gentlemen, Lamoureaux with 39 as of tonight.
It wasn't too long ago, Frank, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, this was a revolving door of the goaltenders. Coach Haxall settled on this young guy, and he's done a terrific job.
Well, even in Dean Blaze's last couple of years, he had a couple of yo-yos out there. He'd pull him in almost every other shift.
You didn't even have to take all your equipment because you wouldn't stay long enough to use it all.
So it's quite a turn after the departure of Jordan Parisi, who last year, by the way, who had a year of eligibility left. And here's Big Finley back behind the net to play it ahead. And out to center. Well, Doug, we've hit that magic 10-minute mark. And the Gophers, sounds like they've taken the crowd out of the game.
Oh, yeah, this crowd is just here physically, not here emotionally right now.
Oposo battling through a check, put it right in front, and he had to battle through Finley. Good first period so far for Kyle Oposo, and now it's rocked loose at center ice by Duncan. Here comes Peltier, nice catch at center ice by Oposo, who shoots, and Lamoureaux makes the save. Minnesota's attempts are going to be pretty high this period. Another pass from behind the net by Flynn, and then he sent Derek Lapointe down to the seat of his pants. A blast by Fisher, a rebound try, and Lamoureaux makes the save on Flynn. Flynn battling forward again. Oh, a great takeaway by Oposo. Then he lost it, and it's dumped down the rink, icing. Wow, that's an impressive display by Minnesota this first period. Folks, if you want to be part of our broadcast tonight, text us a question or comment to 612-860-4674. Doug and I will give it a shot. If we can't, no, Kevin will give it a shot. Kevin Gorg, and then if he can't answer it, we will. I think that's fair, don't you?
Okay, I'm with you. I just kind of
we'll put the heat on him first.
What I liked here, Minnesota got in front of the cage. They were banging away. What they didn't do is finish, which has been their nemesis all year. Flynn had a point blank. He shoveled one up again instead of ramming it in there. But the good news is Minnesota's getting a large quantity of good opportunities. Not
only are they playing the puck in the red zone, if I can borrow that term, they're playing the body in that red zone too. And they're fighting for offensive position.
They've out-physical the Sioux in their own building so far. And they haven't done it by running anybody. They've just been there.
Oh, great hard shot from the far point by Brian Shack. A pass intended for the point is picked off. Roaring out of the zone, Matt Watkins, and he is shut down in a hurry on the near side. A clean defensive play by R.J. Anderson. Kept in at the far point by Bina. And shoveled ahead. Shack gets another whack at it. It's still in the zone. Barabal gets a piece of it, and now here's Wheeler. Patiently brings it ahead to center. It got past Ryland Kite. Kite, by the way, is the only senior forward dressing for the Fighting Sioux. They've got a huge junior class in tonight's game. And here's Robbie Bina again. Misfires on that pass. Got underneath the stick of Matt Fratton.
I don't know why that's not icing. It was North Dakota referee linesman put it out. Deflected. Yeah, it was deflected. It was deflected off the white on the short side of the goal line. Red line.
Like at the blue line.
Yeah. All right, well, play on.
Back behind the net now. Here's Evan Trupp. Pass was too high for everybody. Results in a long wide shot by Andrew Kozak. And is getting some things going here. So much for the prohibition of mechanical noise during a game. Oh well, we are at the Ralph, and it's nothing. Just that quickly, our first text question from Nate in Holdingford. I'm assuming Minnesota. Where's the most difficult place to play in the WCHA?
I believe Holdingford is up by St. Cloud.
Which would be a difficult place to play, the National Hockey Center. But the most difficult?
We're just going to let it rule it, aren't we? We're not going to try to answer it.
No, Nate paid good money for that text message. It cost him at least a nickel or a quarter. We got to come up with something here.
Well, I'll tell you.
You know where if Michigan Tech had a regular first division team, that would be the toughest place to play.
Hands down. And this used to be as tough as. Why? Because the band doesn't care. They just can't wait to get an instrument in their hands.
It's tight, it's small, it's a bandbox. I mean, we're running out of small buildings in this league.
They're fitting 3,500 people, 3,800 people, and 3,800 seats. I mean, they're right on top of you. The deck is another one. When they have years back when the bulldog used to go on the stilts, go around that rink.
The loon.
Okay, the loon. All right, got to hit the half right.
I want to see a bulldog on stilts some night.
Well, the loon.
A great chance in front for Oposo. Yeah, you're right. Back in the Watson era, the middle 80s there. Yeah.
So it depends when you're talking. Suits, at times, Cold Center can be that way, but not consistently.
Lucia tries to put it in front again. It's up in the air. Is it knocked in? No. And Bina behind the net. Somebody ought to introduce the Fighting Sioux to the other end of the rink. Oh, she brings it in. Wait, they'll find it soon enough, right?
Yeah, you're a Gofer fan. You're saying Frank.
Shut up, Mazaka. Duncan out of the corner and a nice reach there by Peltier.
Oh, no way.
There'll be a penalty on Minnesota. They've pulled Lamoureaux, and now his possession is turned over. It's a hook.
Oh, call a trip, I'd almost consider it. But as a dive, look at Donnie saying the same thing. He doesn't like it either, Donnie Lucia. Oh, man.
Oh,
he
not
lost
even
his,
a hook.
No, he lost his edge going making his own turn. If you know anything about skating, you just watch as he loses his edges. Oh.
Whoa.
He get to the outside edge of that left foot, and it wouldn't control his body weight. And what did he do? He fell down, and what did the referee do? He raised his arm. Not like John Campion to do that.
Second power play of the game for the Fighting Sioux. Will it turn any kind of a tide in their favor? They have only one shot on goal, and it was not during their previous power play. Penalty kill for Minnesota. Out front high is Mike Hofel. The other forward is Blake Wheeler. Back on D are Fairchild and Bickle, and there's Hofel reaching, and he just swatted away at the last second. That was Matt Fratton going after the puck. Now the point shooting, and it goes off the corner. Bickle drives it hard and gets it out of there, and the Gophers will change.
Boy, a huge penalty kill for the Gophers and a big opportunity for the Sioux. I'll tell you, if Minnesota could score or even hold, they would gain even more momentum.
Now Van de Velde brings it in, and trailing the play, Ryan Duncan. Cannot get around Fairchild. Loose puck far side for Bina, and he drove it around a little bit too aggressively. Bickle trying to get it out, and then it redirects back into the corner. Fairchild playing it for Bickle. He drives it hard, but still a nice block by Oshie. Back at the line for Chorney. They find Oshie. Less than a minute in the power play. Chorney down the middle. Instead he goes to Duncan right across for Bina, and that shot was blocked by Bickle.
Good job by Bickle taking that lane away. Minnesota twice. Cade Fairchild throwing the puck away where he had an opportunity. Now he's got to get it out. Oh. Yeah,
and he does.
That's right. That makes a lot of difference.
Just over a half minute as Lamoureaux wants to catch Minnesota in a change. Chorney stripped of the puck at center ice by Lucia. Oshie a dance to get some room, and now he finds Chorney. 25 on the power play as Chorney brings it in. Shoved up on the boards hard by Fairchild, and then it's dumped down the rink by Flynn.
Nice job by Flynn coming back to get deep in, and Fairchild had moved up to the corner spot along the rail. He got the puck out for him.
Now Bina gets upended back behind the net. That's Ben Gordon in there, and he wants to cover that puck. Look out. Make that Lucia.
Yeah, I don't know what he was gathering marbles for. Should have been shoving it away, but Gophers 7 seconds away from killing his penalty.
The last two periods the Golden Gophers have played, they have outshot their opponents with 4:11 to go here, 27-31.
Well, by far, this is their to 3. But anyway, I think this is Minnesota's finest period coming into somebody else's building who's got a lot to show, and they've really been sticking it in here pretty good. And I tell you, Minnesota's taken a few bodies too, which has really helped them.
There's Frazee making a tough save on that long shot. And it gets just a little bit intense there. The Fighting Sioux might be feeling some frustration. Frustration perhaps that they've only taken 2 shots on goal. The outdoor block on FSN North is where you get the most comprehensive coverage of everything outdoors. Fishing, hunting, exploring the best outdoor destinations. FSN North's outdoor block of shows covers it all Sunday mornings on FSN.
Minnesota has to continue to make that first good pass out of their own end by the defense. There's a missed play by Fisher. Peltier just made one right before that. This set of defense for the Gophers has to play a high-scale game because they've got to be playing against some of the tougher players in the country. They've got to be a #1 set or a #2 set. They could be difference makers on the positive side or on the negative side.
Wheeler gets ready to face off against Ryland Kipe.
Good draw by Wheels.
Derek Peltier. Now Ben Gordon. And here's Fisher. A little late on the whistle, but it's offside.
Well, there's two problems here. If you're Minnesota, Fisher comes up, maybe makes a little bit of a move. Okay, but Wheeler on the far side on the left, he has to make sure the puck gets over the blue line. He can't just go hoping the center's going to give him the puck. When you take yourself offside, when a man's in the middle of the rink with the puck, I think you've done bad. If you're off to a side, you get hammered, you can push, you have to make a little move, different story. But in the middle of the ice, man doesn't, you got to give him time to get that line, then let him make the play from the blue line in. Aaron more so on Wheeler than on Fisher.
Oh, Oshie hits the pipe. Oshie with a clean beat on the near side, and then he rattled one off the pipe.
What box did he come out of? He
was,
pop, pop. Good.
Fairchild gains the zone, gets a shot out that gets deflected, hits the netting.
Frank, if you're a Minnesota fan, you say they had given up only one good opportunity through 17 minutes, you'd say pretty good.
That would be it.
That'd be it. You'd say a pretty good start.
Yeah, I'll bet their other shots were from low percentage situations. Look at this slick move on Bickle.
Oh, bad stick position by
crossbar.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. But Bickle's stick was in a bad position. He let him get the inside on him. Should have had his stick to the middle. All that, you know, he's a big rangy guy.
Well, they're reviewing this goal. And Frazee says, why bother? No question. Did not go in.
Well, and he shouldn't take a lot of credit for that because had he hit the pipe, he didn't save it. He didn't, no, it wasn't in it. We had it all away.
I only gave him 2 inches to shoot at.
Oshie, Warroad, youngster, I believe he's St. Louis Blues draft.
First rounder.
First round. Great kid. A lot of fun to be around, a lot of energy. Like to see him staying in school as well.
Shack from center ice to throw it in. Lamoureaux. Again made it a little interesting back there. Anderson shooting one. And again the Gophers trying to just pop it in the crease if nothing else. Good job on the far side by Brad Malone. Then he gets some help. They bring it in, then lost control of it. Here's Lucia with Flynn, and he'll flip it high in the air to get it in the zone.
That's a nice play. Whoa!
A little banging around going on before either team. Either player got to the puck. It's Flynn and Finley.
That was a
and the whistle goes at least. I don't think there's a penalty because the helmet came loose. Whistle goes automatically now. Watch this hit.
Lucia and Zajac are monkeying around a neutral zone, but this is just a good hit. The helmet comes off like you say, Frank, and then when it kind of moved off, the whistle blows automatically, just like you call it. That was a great college hockey confrontation.
Tree 6'7".
That's taller than my Christmas tree, Frank.
I saw the North Dakota, yes it is, Doug. Saw the North Dakota TV folks setting up for their player interview area, and they mounted the camera on the tripod and they were going to lock it in, but I don't think they counted for Joe Finley coming in there because he would never fit in the frame. They got to have to raise that thing. There are 2 penalties, but away from that collision, Lucia went off
with Zajac,
and Zajac went off.
Yeah, that was out neutralized, and everybody was. That was an. Actually, Lucia instigated that. He took the helmet.
Yeah, they're unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. And 4 skaters aside. Now, what does that do, Doug? 4 skaters aside here in an otherwise pretty tight checking game. One where Minnesota has been doing a lot of grinding out in the North Dakota end.
Well, I would prefer, when you're going well, just to keep it the status quo. Because one thing happens with Minnesota when they play 4-on-4, for some reason, they play a passive forecheck. You don't want to get 2 guys caught, I understand that. They don't forecheck hard enough to ever get a turnover. So they're always facing along the rail or taking a rush coming down.
Brought ahead by Brad Miller, and he's met with authority by Derek Peltier. And now the weaker check thrown by Kozak, who centers it, and a hard blast by Genoway is blocked. And out to center ice for Evan Kaufman. He gains a little territory, goes cross rink, finds Peltier. 90 seconds to go in a very impressive first period for Minnesota.
Now you got both units, the white unit and the maroon unit, with their top forwards out here. You got Wheeler and Bearable certainly in the top group, and you got Oshie and Duncan.
Wheeler throws the check there into Oshie, and Duncan brings the puck up the rink. Genoway goes down the middle. Now Genoway, the defenseman, will go in after it. He gets jammed up. Oshie gets the puck. A little wraparound try. He sets up Duncan, and Frazee makes a big save. Another key stop for Jeff Frazee.
Gabe Fairchild, he got a lesson.
Woohoo! Less than a minute to go in the period. Oshie, what a show.
Yeah, two great performances so far. First act and second act have been kind of fun.
Duncan went after it. Fairchild had a little problem getting rid of it, but he did. He nursed it along the rail. Gordon hits the line, finds Fairchild. Gordon goes to the front of the net. Now, pretty good chop there behind, a wraparound try by Fairchild. And a collision behind the net. Oposo throwing the check. And about 20 seconds left to go in this period. Fairchild gets rid of it. Loose at the North Dakota line as those earlier minor penalties are over, and the puck leaves the rink.
Well, Minnesota got the big save from Frazee. He kind of did a little deck job. Oshie moved right around Fairchild. Comes in, that's Duncan. He comes right out at him. The nice part of Frazee, he challenged, watch, he comes out at the shooter. Makes himself look very, very big. And he did what he was supposed to do, Frank, as a goalie. He got hit with the puck.
Challenge him, make him think a little bit about what he's going to do with that puck. He's only made 2 key saves in this period, but he would be high on a list of stars of the period.
Oh, yeah.
Pass to center ice, hops off the skate of Watkins all the way down the rink. Frazee throws it around at the horn. No scoring here, but Minnesota with an edge in shots, unofficially 15-3. Our intermission lineup looks a little bit like this, as will. The players can't look ahead, but we can look ahead. The calendar says we have to look ahead to the World Junior Tournament, as the Golden Gophers will send 4, most of any college team in the country. Kevin Gorg will talk with Derek Peltier down outside the dressing room, and Doug and I will have first period stats and highlights from the Ralph. If you're a Golden Gopher fan, you have to be pleased with what you have seen. A lot of grit, a lot of determination. They weather a first period storm, and it's 0-0 after 20 minutes. Golden Gopher Hockey on FSN North is brought to you by Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. What's your Grand Casino story? By Jeep. America's most fuel-efficient 4x4s are at your Jeep dealer. Check out one today or go to Jeep.com. And by CHS, resources for enriching lives.
Welcome back to Grand Forks. No score after 1. We're joined by Gopher forward Tom Pohl. First of all, you guys get 14 of the first 15 shots. Dominate most of that period. Talk about what you guys were able to do to control this game.
We just want to come out and have a good start, do as best we could to play the body and play with energy and hopefully get one on the board. We were unfortunate. We couldn't get one on the board this period. Hopefully we go back out there next period and try to score.
You guys didn't play here last year. It's a tough venue for road teams. What did you guys talk about with the younger players that were making their debut to help them show that composure?
It's a tough venue, but at the same time, it's a fun venue. Guys are excited. You get that when you have a great crowd and everything here and great fan support. Gets the away team pumped up to play as well. So our guys didn't look at it as, nervous, on eggshells or anything. They were just excited to play at this great building and have some fun this weekend and hopefully get some wins.
North Dakota's power play always one of the best in the country. What are you guys trying to do to go out there and slow down their momentum and take that puck and take away those passing lanes specifically?
Well, we got to eliminate time and space and make sure we get bodies and sticks on guys like Duncan and Oshie and try to take them out of the game and Chorney and just limit their time to make a play and hopefully kill off our penalties.
Thanks for your time and good luck the next 2 periods.
Thank you. Take care.
It's Tommy Pohl. Gophers and the Fighting Sioux tied at 0-0 after 1. Stay with us on our first intermission. When we come back, we'll talk World Junior Championships. We'll tell you about the 4 Gophers that are trading in the maroon and gold for the red, white, and blue. Stay with us. You're watching Gophers Hockey on FSN North.
The Ralph Engelstedt Arena. You can't quite see him, but Santa Claus has had too much green beer. His suit's turned green. Doug, we're going to look at some highlights. One thing that I noticed in the package that's coming up, you'll see 2 or 3 Minnesota players around the North Dakota net on almost every play.
Yeah, they really did a good job. There's Opal, Powell, and Wyken in terrific chance. Coffin and the man short. Whistles went upstairs. Lamoureaux able to the task. Point man blasting that puck for the Gophers outside for rebound. Now Frazee comes into the action. Kozak, which really, he's got a rocket. He's got himself a good fire release. Here's Oshie coming in. That one might have gone off the pipe. Here he comes in again, makes a play. This was Frazee's best save, I think, when he came out on Duncan.
Upon further review, you saw a lot of maroon and gold down around the Gopher net, too, so they're playing at either end. Our Jeep stats, no score here, but only 3 shots on goal for the Fighting Sioux. They only attempted 10. Neither team successful on the power play. Minnesota with the edge in face-off. And that's what happens to you when you drink too much green beer. Golden Gopher Hockey on FSN North is brought to you by Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. What's your Grand Casino story? By Jeep. America's most fuel-efficient 4x4s are at your Jeep dealer. Check out one today or go to Jeep.com. And by CHS, resources for enriching lives.
Welcome back. No score after one. We're getting ready for the second period, joined by Mike Gensel, Gophers assistant. Great period of hockey. Outshoot them 15-3. What's the next step?
Well, obviously, we have to start playing good, solid defense. It all starts with defense. We got to be good around the front of our net. And we got to get in front of their net a little bit. I think there was some rebounds there for us to have that period, and we have to work real hard to get on the offensive side of some of those rebounds and try to jam some pucks by Lamoureaux.
Thanks for your time, and good luck here in the second.
You're welcome.
That's Mike Gensel. He'll be back before the third period. Right now, it's period number 2. The Gophers take control in the first. We'll see if they can continue that momentum. Frank and Doug, take it away.
Kevin, thank you very much. 12 seconds in, we had a quick face-off and a quick lost puck, and another quick scoring chance here for the Fighting Sioux, as Frazee got stung there a little bit on the heavy traffic. And now David Fisher gets knocked down, and North Dakota seems to be answering this start of this period with some dig-off. Finley to Gordon, and Gordon got blasted by Bina. Well, I think they had a talking to.
Well, you could tell something different happened because Ryland Kipe's line came out with Fradlin and Watkins. That meant that Oshie's line didn't start. There was a message being sent, and there was a couple bombs, a couple of good checks that were made by the Sioux on the Gopher defense. So there is a different mentality right now on the Sioux side.
Here's Chorney playing catch with the line, and now it's laid ahead by Derek Lapointe, the freshman from Eau Claire. And again, we lose, actually we have an icing here.
Frank, we haven't seen the Sioux play, but I would say it was a pretty lethargic effort on their part, where the Gophers turned in a pretty good one in that first period.
You know, Doug, the killer period for North Dakota is their first. They're outscoring their opponents 15-3 in the first period. So you would think that that would be their strong suit. Sam from Wyoming wants to know, Doug, this is for you, and yes, you have to answer it. What is your most memorable Gopher Sioux moment? You can chew on it for a while. Fairchild, and it's right on. All right, first as a coach. All right, as a player.
As a player, being in the old Quonset hut, seeing the chicken wire in the ends, people coming in, more breath coming out of their mouth, steaming away, cramped into about 800 or 900 people, and then you were always afraid if you got cut, you'd have to go down and get stitched up by the veterinarian. That was a thought of negativity, Frank.
I very much enjoy hearing your account of that because it changes my whole perspective of how the game was played then. Mid-60s, chicken wire. How could you bounce a pass off a chicken wire? For one, how many scars do you get in your face from chicken wire?
I have 150 stitches in my face, and I didn't play a lot of major hockey beyond, you know, USA type stuff. So, yeah, you get a few of those easily, Frank. And
so if you're playing with your ability to bank a pass is on the 3-foot boards.
Yeah.
It becomes much more of a passing game. There's no such thing as dumping.
No, and you didn't start your chicken wire right away at the blue line. Initially, it was started at the goal line at first, then they extended it after.
Oh.
So you didn't.
So you had nothing on the sides.
No, and you know what? Puck stayed in because people didn't take slap shots. They didn't no curved sticks in those days, so they didn't get out of control.
Very much more a passing, skill kind of playmaking game.
Yeah, and early on, you could only check in 1/3 of the zones. So you could, you know.
Now that one I got to go back. That one I have to figure out yet. You could only check in the offensive zone?
That's right. In other words, we could not as forwards go in and hit the defenseman. Or was it the other way around? Let me see.
This could have led to a lot of, if you don't figure this one out, I can see where it would have led to a lot of penalties.
let me grab it here while you call the game.
I'll give you till the intermission if you want. Yeah, because I've heard that a couple times and I haven't been able to figure it out. How can you allow one team to check and not the other? But
well, you can check when they get in your third, but you can't check Oh my goodness, what a check by Finley.
That was Finley. This time he stapled Howe pretty good. Kevin Weir's shooting. It's off a skate. It goes to the corner, and over to pick it up will be Brad Malone. He dribbles one out to center ice, and Weir's put it into the skates of teammate Anderson. Right side to Howe. And a long shot on Lamoureaux, and then Howe got dumped. He was met also by Mr. Joe Finley.
Okay, here's
Jack behind the net, dug out of there by Pohl, and he gets bumped hard. You touch the puck, you're going to get hit. Blast by Fisher. It's off a skate.
Minnesota dominating it. I've got the answer, Frank. You could hit in your third of the zone. In other words, blue line in.
Those of you who missed our Gophers Quest Live, the pregame show, our special feature on the rehabilitation of Ryan Stoa, there's a little taste of what you missed.
Well, the way that we reconstruct it is we take out the middle third of the patellar tendon. So we take off a piece of bone off his kneecap in the middle part of this tendon, and then a piece of bone off this portion right here. And then we reconstruct it by drilling a tunnel where his old ACL used to be. So we drill a tunnel through the tibia, another tunnel in the femur, and then we take this graft and pull it in place and fix it in place with screws.
Part 2 tomorrow night. Wow. And I wonder if tomorrow night we'll see the tunnel being drilled. I don't know.
I'm going to comment one more time on that checking business. You could check in your third of the rink. So you wanted your defenseman to pound away, because when you get down on the other third, they were pounding you as a forward. And then they moved it to the red line where icing was in checking the ice all the way to the red line. Now it's full ice.
Ben Gordon sets up Wheeler, and it missed. And it's a 2-on-1 the other way for the Fighting Sioux. Duncan, Oshie bring it in. Duncan shooting. And that one was deflected. There's Fisher. He gets bumped by Oshie. And now Gordon. And North Dakota is out of sync here. Well, this is not the precision game that we're accustomed to seeing. But then again, it's still early in the game. Our CHS trivia question: which former Fighting Sioux player was selected highest in the NHL draft? Former, right? Because Finley is a 27 overall.
I tell you, Minnesota.
Oshie's a 24 overall.
Former, so you're talking Taves, you could talk about.
Yeah. Stretching to figure it out.
Minnesota, it didn't look like they were on the power play, even though they didn't get not a shot there. They moved the puck off the rail, out to the blue line, moved it to the middle. It's definitely been strong.
We mentioned only 2 first-round picks. There are actually 24 players on the ice tonight who are NHL draft picks. The Golden Gophers with 13, North Dakota with 11. If you add Ryan Stoa and Mike Carmen, who will become eligible next semester, Minnesota's total goes up to 15. Ryan Duncan not in that group.
No.
Free agent. Shack plays it in. Finley gets it off the glass and out at center ice. Here's White. And that time no penalty as Evan Trump went down. Trump, the freshman, he's from Anchorage. Finley gets some pressure now from White. Here's Bina. And out at center ice, it's pushed ahead by Trump, but he's shut down by Howe. One of your key points tonight, one of your in our McDonald's game plan was Minnesota D. How's their D been?
Well, they've been really good, but it's partly because the forwards in Minnesota have been pushing the puck, been really forechecking well. Minnesota defense has stood up to the neutral zone. They've covered quite well. They've done a lot of good things. They just haven't been called on quite as much because the forwards of Minnesota are doing a whole lot better job tonight sustaining pressure in their forecheck. Jack will go for a minor here. Minnesota, what I'm surprised about is the Sioux. Some nights you have flat legs. Either they're having flat legs and flat minds, or their legs aren't as quick as I thought they would be. Here's a penalty coming up here.
Shack number 27 for interference at exactly 5 minutes. And right from the draw, Fisher jams it down the rink. Bina, Oshie, Duncan, Chorney. And there's the 5th guy out there cherry picking out of the blue line, and that's Vandevelde. There's Bina putting it across, and it's behind Oshie. Oshie rolls it into the corner. Duncan gets it. Chased by Fisher. Leaves it for Vandevelde. Now Oshie to the point for Bina. Chorney down the middle. Bina and Chorney play and catch. Here's Duncan. Here's Chorney. Through a screen, misses everything. And as it hops towards the front of the net, Frazee blocked it. Duncan can't control, and they're back out of the zone.
Well, I talked to the coaches, and they have not been over enamored by the play of some of the Sioux guys. And I'm talking about the Sioux coaches right there. Chorney, I thought Taylor Chorney would have just a bang up in the third year. I'd have picked him and Butler as the two best defensemen in the league, but after watching the first third of the season, I couldn't put him there.
17% power play for the Fighting Sioux coming in. They're on their third of this game. A block at the line by Genoway, and now a move in front for Duncan, and a blast high, but LaPointe doesn't reach the net.
Well, I think that Frazee did get a piece of that. We'll take a look. He came out and challenged. We'll see if he did. That's a great save.
Martins dropped it back. Genoway brings it in again. Half minute in the power play. And off the rail, they dance with it a little bit. To the point. Genoway firing, misses. Martins goes after it. Brad Miller, number 14, is there. Genoway at the point, and a nice play by Mike Howe.
On the power plays that the Sioux have had, I don't recall one that was a point-blank shot. Nothing real good inside. A couple of blasts there from the point, but those are low percentage.
That was Genoway nearly putting it in on the goaltender, and now the minor penalty to Shack is over. They weather the storm for the third time. What storm there might have been. They only got a few shots. 2-on-1, Baraball in front, and a nice block in front by LaPointe, and then Gordon trailing the play, and Lamoureaux had to be really good on that one. Watkins roaring back to the Minnesota zone, shooting from a shallow angle. Look out! No goal!
Oh, that was right between the skates of Frazee. Now we got a little action. Ragdoll down.
Finley looks like he might be dragging White around by one hand, way away from the main fracas there in the goal. And that ought to get everybody lit up.
Wow, I tell you, Baraball had a 3-on-1 going down the other side before this little skirmish here and didn't get a very good shot off. The Sioux counter attack, come back in and get a good shot right between his legs, right in his skates was the puck. You could see it right between his blades. Now this is Watkins coming down. Watch it go right between his when he gets back up. When he gets up, it crawls. You can see the momentum of the puck. I was wondering if it was going to go on 10 off or not.
10 off. I still can't figure out how it didn't go in.
I know. That's what I was leaning one way. Watch it now. Oh, it hit the pipe.
And then the whistle goes.
Yeah, that was a legitimate call there. But I think it was going. It caught the corner of the pipe and ricocheted back out. Oh, my goodness. Watch this. What overhead camera shot.
We're all standing here in suspense like we're going to see something different, but that puck is never going to go in on this one.
No, it's the same play.
That's, you know, you can be good and you can be lucky, and when you're both at the same time, and then Bickle comes in and Kipe is there, and let's see if we can pull out a few numbers, and there's Finley's job. I'm still not sure who he's pulling away.
I thought it was double digits, but yes, it is. It's Wheeler. I thought it was double digits, Frank.
Picked him up by the scruff of the neck and pulled him out of there.
Looked like one of the puppets. But I tell you, Bickle started that. He came in with his butt of his stick going. We'll see whether or not Minnesota gets the extra 2. They could justify it because the Sioux guys were in there. They were digging. They weren't banging.
Ryland Kipe is the only North Dakota player. Jay Baraball in for the Gophers.
Poor Jay Baraball.
Are they the main combatants out of all of that?
That's a light heavyweight fight there.
Baraball number 26, Kipe number 17.
They'll come to the net area, I think, Frank.
Baraball's in the crease right there, and there's Kipe.
Oh, he kind of a fall down. Somebody saw a fist go over the top there. Wheel's going to ride.
Right now, on this. Well, they're going to add to the population of the penalty boxes. There might be an extra 2 on North Dakota. Watkins is going off. Finley's going off too. So there's 3 fighting Sioux in there. Is this after the fact or out of the same scrum?
Well, I can understand. You know, it's such a scrum in front there.
And now Bickle.
But right now, North Dakota still has the extra 2-man penalty.
Right.
Well, I guess you had to be down that end of the rink of the building. We couldn't see it from where we're at.
Gofer's second power play of the game. Oposo, Flynn, Lucia are up front. It'll be Peltier and Fisher as this hard shot by Flynn from the hash marks gets deflected by the goaltender. Now Flynn battling with Chorney. And Oshie gets it and gets rid of it.
Well, Flynn has had his opportunities the last 3 or 4 weekends, at least the last 4 to 6 games, because he's had some good chances. He's got to finish a little bit better. Lamoureaux made that look pretty easy.
Flynn in his sophomore year, with every game, Doug, I think, or at least put it this way, with every week, becoming a better and better college hockey player.
Yeah, his skill is there. He also a good grinder.
Now Duncan was dumped out at center ice, or at least he went down. The student section crying for a penalty. There is none. Penalty time, you see 1:10. Jones first man to get to it, can't get it out. Oposo with the block. And Oposo in front are there. Now Wheeler tried to force that one in front. Fisher gets it. There's Fairchild. Oposo right in front, and Fairchild couldn't get the shot off. Fairchild again. Oposo. Wheeler. And a block by Genoway. Wheeler to Fisher. Gordon comes on as they're starting to change some of the power play unit. From behind the net, Oposo to Wheeler. He took a whack there on the play from Zajac. Oposo a slick move. Wheeler at the goal mouth. Bangs away twice or 3 times. And Lamoureaux finally covers.
Well, Minnesota moved the puck okay. Didn't really get any quality chances there. Even the one from Wheeler, that was really off the side. Not much chance of getting through. Here's Oposo, should be shooting that puck. Not a bad pass, though. But the pass getting to Wheeler, Wheeler really didn't have any angle. Not much there, Frank.
No, not. You're right.
That play is supposed to go across to the weak side guy, who was Gordon, standing on the edge there. Wheels took the chance. It's okay if you come out and reach the puck before it gets to the red line, but once you catch it behind, you're kind of in tough shape.
Finley had that extra minor penalty. There's only 10 seconds remaining on it and on Minnesota's second power play of the game. Here comes Kevin Weirs, brings it in the zone, dumps it behind the net. LaPointe trying to get rid of it, but it was blocked by Hopeful. The penalty is over. And now both teams are at full and equal strength. Here's Howe from center to shoot it in as we approach the halfway point of regulation in a 0-0 hockey game.
Kevin Weir's first shift on the ice, as far as I know.
Had 1 or 2 in the first period, not much more than that. A scramble here and a great save by Frazee on Van de Velde. He was on the doorstep. Bina driving it in. Duncan over there to get it. He got hammered pretty hard by Evan Kaufman. And Kaufman then went right back out looking for the puck, and now Kaufman and Van de Velde shoving. Bounces loose here. This is Malone. Wheeler putting a hit on Malone. Van de Velde working it to the point for Bina. That shot off the stick of Weirs. And Malone is tied up now by Wheeler. Nice takeaway by Weirs. I think he hit the referee, but he still got the puck up the rink, so that's okay. And Wheeler to the line in a crowd. Nice pass. Here's the shot by Kaufman. And there's Lamoureaux again.
Well, Kaufman and Wheeler are in their last tank of gas here. I think it might have been different results, but they were fresh.
Peltier will go back to get it and get some help now from David Fisher. Fisher bumped by Fratton. Circles away now from the check by Truck. Peltier to help. Lucia, and they'll have to play it back, but a takeaway there. And then Kozak could not center. Out to center ice. Here comes Lucia. 3 Gophers met by 3 fighting Sioux. And Lucia jammed up hard by Genoway. Fisher. Shack is in there. That's Oposo. Now Oposo. And all the way around the horn he goes before he took a belt from Kozak. Lucia, Flynn, Oposo. And now Lucia throws a check into Oposo. There's Flynn. Boy, is the going tough in this period. Flynn behind the net. Jones all over him. Flynn battling loose. Left it for Fisher. And Lucia goes high to get it deeper in the zone. White just off the bench, but he can't get to the puck. Genoway with an outlet pass, and then it's relayed by Miller out of the zone. Takes a Minnesota hop at the line, right to Peltier off the glass, out of the zone. And Howe. And it's offside at the Minnesota line.
Bozak penalty.
Only 9 shots for the Fighting Sioux, but many of them. Jeff Frazee had to been this tough.
Wheeler makes a nice little dash here up the middle. Goes back over to the right side. That was Coppin. You would expect Bearball to be there, but that was Coppin. I mentioned that they were both out of gas, so they didn't quite have the steam they needed. Bozak picks up a minor.
No, Doug, this is a second minor for too many men on the ice.
Well, where's your mind? Can't, it's obviously not working very well on the map.
Well, now, wait a minute. Our electronic board up here is wrong. My last note here says too many men. So here's Wheeler.
I think they had more than 5 plus the goalie. Frank might have been closer to 8. We'll see.
What was the announcement? I thought the announcement was for interference. Well, sorry, folks, but we're in a big building here. Here's Wheeler. And now Gordon. Fairchild to Gordon again. Third Minnesota power play. It's off a stick of the goaltender Lamoureaux. And a good job by Fairchild to keep it alive, and a better job by Bearball. Now Gordon. What?
Well, you don't.
You take over on that.
I'm going to tell you, number 1, it was a bad result. Number 2, it was a bad decision. You don't throw it through people on the power play. You create 2-on-1s. Not try to put, not a challenge to see if you can get it through the guy. See if you can get it around him.
I know it didn't look good. I just couldn't figure out why.
Well, I was trying to get it out as fast as I can.
Lucia with a cross rink. Oposo on a dribbling puck. Puts it right in front, and Genoway takes it away. And that might have been all he could do with it there. And a quick retreat as the Fighting Sioux come up ice shorthanded. Gophers have given up 5 shorthanded goals this year. And a nice rush there by Duncan all the way around. Then he lost it. And Lucia plays it ahead. Flynn back to Lucia. Wrist shot. The block by Chorney out front.
Nice rush by the Gophers. They'll share that puck.
Here's Peltier. 10 seconds on the power play. Flynn's deflection misses. A post on a Flynn. A blast coming by Fisher, and it misses. Chorney gets it. And the minor penalty is over. Neither power play successful tonight.
Minnesota controlling the puck, showing some signs. Almost.
Hopeful got a piece of it. No icing. Lamoureaux just barely got rid of it, but hands it away to Howe. And that shot was deflected by Genoway. Shoveled all the way back and actually out of the zone by Martins, and he might be glad it left the rink. Back in a moment.
9.
Doug, give me your crayon here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the goalie, that's 2 teams.
He should be getting the puck out of the zone. You think they'd be able to get the puck out of the zone?
Here's your crayon back. Here's Zajac shooting, and Frazee makes the save. That's got to be a record.
They probably thought the period was over.
Now, the bigger question is, why did it take so long to blow the whistle? I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding.
They probably couldn't believe it. Minnesota prefer this game not go to a power play situation. Keep it 5-on-5.
I'm going to limber you up to do one of these Grand Casino game summaries someday, Doug. Gophers with an edge in shots here, 25-10. Neither team successful in 6 combined power plays. I'm not even going to read the last. Well, I will.
Yeah,
Dean Blaze 4, Doug Woog nothing in bubble hockey. It was the first bubble hockey game in history to go to runtime.
It'd be the first one we watched by 60,000 people, too. And they got just totally smashed.
Yes, you did.
They got bombed. That sounds like bad words, but it was not a good thing.
It was painful up here, Doug, just watching you. I felt for you down there, but
hey,
all I can tell you is that this morning at breakfast, we gave you one bit of advice. Keep your goalie in the middle and don't touch him, and you kept throwing him against the post.
All right. Minnesota's throwing it against the post. They're going after these Sioux quite heavily. I can't believe Minnesota's dominated as many minutes as they have, 36 minutes.
Over to get it, Andrew Kozak. 3-on-2 to the Minnesota line. Misses everything.
Oh, that was a good shot.
Missed everything.
Yeah, but down low, missed it by 2 or 3 inches. I like the way he snaps him off.
Chance here for Wheeler. Right in middle. And it bounced away from Fairchild. And a nice coverage in front by Miller. And then Lamoureaux reaching in a bouncing puck. Cole after it. Kaufman after it. And it looks like this line wants the first goal of the game pretty badly. And it was played with a high stick.
Well, Minnesota's putting different combinations. Wheeler was out there with Pole.
Still 0-0 late in the second.
The Toilet-on phenomenon is going on now.
CHS trivia question: which former Fighting Sioux player was selected highest in the NHL draft? Jonathan Taves, there's your man, 3rd overall, Chicago. Boy, what a year he's had.
I mentioned him, didn't I? Yes, I did. I said, hey.
I guess I must have had my headphones off at that point. Here's Fairchild playing it. You did. You did. You're having a tough enough night.
Yeah. Bruised, but not out.
No.
Minnesota doing a good job shutting the Sioux down. It'd be a big thing if they get hold of another goose egg, whether they pick one up or not.
Good catch at center ice right at the blue line by Bickle. And then they bring it in offside. It's been a good game for Minnesota. This is a grind them out. A little bit more what we need to see from them week in and week out.
Yeah, and much more physical, taking the body, not running guys, but they're always finishing bodies. You have a lot less turnovers when the other team is separated from the puck because you're going to get an open one, you know. It's they've done a terrific job. When you look at 10 shots from the Sioux over this long a period, 25 are the Gophers, and the difference in quality have been there, not just quantity.
Yeah, that's a 25 shot total is more indicative of the old fire wagon Minnesota hockey, and this is more physical game for them, and they're still getting the shots. And Frazee gets a piece of that one to deflect it. Oposo kicks it ahead. It's 3-on-2. Left side, Lucia. Oposo down the middle to the backhand. And a nice block by Finley.
His long arms and Mr. Finley created that defensive play. Boy, I tell you, otherwise Oposo was in.
And Finley now leads the charge to center, but they're misfiring on a lot of their passes.
They have not had build a chain, Frank. They can't link up at all.
Too far for Lucia, and he'll go off on a change. And a whistle. Oshie lost his helmet out at center ice. 2.5 minutes to go here. Time for a Dodge game break. We'll take you back to 6:30 tonight. Luger on the left. Blaze on the right. The 4-0. Tim Hennessy. Look at their ducker. Shook hands. You were sandbagging it, right?
No, I just...
You were sandbagging it for a rematch, I know.
I was in the library when I was younger. Those guys are all playing games.
Oh, dear.
Ma, no, I don't do it. No, I don't do I have to come home, Ma. I just love this book.
Mike Howe to the line. It's taken away from him. 3 Fighting Sioux bring it in. Apparently onside. Martin shoots, misses everything. Zajac after the puck. He goes after it with Anderson. Zajac out of the corner, but without the puck. Now Malone rattles it around. Shack to Hofel. And flipped right back in. And Shack is seeing regular ice time here as a 7th Minnesota defenseman.
Donnie Lucia's movement there to go with 3 lines plus 2 and use Shack and so on has been very effective so far.
Good. Genoway. Chased by Gordon. Now around Anderson. Shack with the interception in front, then he lost his footing. And out to center ice, Wheeler speeding ahead with Barabal. 2 players back. The pass for Maribel too far, and a little contact with Lamoureaux, and he made sure everybody noticed.
Good call by Shepard not to make a call.
Fairchild cross rink, had to thread that one through, barely got it to Gordon, who dives to get it deep in the zone. Now LaPointe and Wheeler collide. Barabal and Wheeler. Gordon, the third man on the forward line, and then it's taken away and brought back by Brad Miller. Bearing down on Bickle. And they go to the corner. Fairchild back to get the loose puck. Nice teamwork there, and out to center ice it comes to Barabal. Just over a minute to go in the second period, and a deathly quiet building.
Right, that was a nice call by you there. It came out nicely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice
and I thought you played bubble hockey better than the score indicated.
well, you're not right.
Here's Lucia dropping it back. And Opaso shooting for the corner. What a key grab by Lamoureaux.
Minnesota would have loved to put one on the board. Nice little sortie. Minnesota sharing that puck here. Oposo having a lot of opportunities because his feet are moving. Lucia went for the rebound, didn't get an opportunity to hit it because it never came out of the glove. But Minnesota, to the man, been pretty good.
Yeah, and we had fun with the bubble hockey. We're going to have more fun for you at our second intermission, the debut of some of the first Rouser competition videos. Chris? Well, we'll be showing you one just to kind of prime the pump a little bit. These have been trickling in for a while, and we want to show you what the competition is like because you're going to be on semester break here pretty soon. I'm sure you're going to get a cell phone for Christmas. So you're going to want to work on this. Not you personally, but the people watching.
Oh, yeah.
Work on your Rouser. So we'll show you what's going on at our intermission.
24 seconds left in this period. Minnesota dominating again. Getting some nice team play, both physically, moving and sharing the puck, helping back in their own end. And then when they need it, Frazee's come up with a nice save or two.
I think they like this building.
Well, I think for some of the guys it is a better building. I know for Flynn it is.
Here's a centering pass. The flex hits the outside of the net. It was Oshie right there. And Duncan, their top scorers, are out in the final seconds of this period. Oshie puts it in the crease. Frazee, another save. This one from a shallow angle. 7 left in the second period. And Chorney, long pass to the Minnesota line for Bina. Got it in. Now this long shot deflects at the horn.
Well, if you say one thing, you say UND saved the best for the last.
Well, they did, and they're a very strong third period team, as we have seen. Jeff Frazee has been very good in this one. We'll show you the first of our rousing competition. TJ Oshie will be Kevin Gordon's guest, and Doug and I will have stats and highlights. Right now is 40 minutes of well-played hockey by the Golden Gophers. They have out.
Welcome back. Still no score for 2 periods. Fighting Sioux and the Gophers. We're joined by star forward for North Dakota, TJ Oshie. Guys have been outplayed through 2 periods. They've kind of taken the crowd out of the game. What needs to change here in the third period for your team?
Intensity. Really, we're losing the intensity battles out there, and I think if we do that, start capitalizing on some chances, I think we can get right back in it.
Now, you got a couple of really good chances, specifically in the first period. You got a crossbar on Frazee. Is the book on him to try to get him to go down and go high? What do you guys think about when you're shooting on Jeff Frazee?
Just get some shots and crash the net. We're not getting enough shots out there, and I think that's the difference maker between the chances between teams. So if we get some shots on the net, I think we'll be fine. Later
this year, we're going to cover Warroad and Roseau. North Dakota, Minnesota, Warroad, Roseau. Which is the better rivalry and why?
Oh, man. I think it's probably Minnesota, the Sioux. I think that it's kind of a higher level of hockey. It gets intense out there, but nothing against Warroad and Roseau. That's a huge rivalry, and it was fun to play in.
We love covering you. Good luck in the third period. Thanks, TJ.
Thank you.
TJ Oshie, of course, started at Warroad, now stars at North Dakota, soon to be in the National Hockey League for the St. Louis Blues. Still no score, Gophers and Fighting Sioux. When we come back on the second intermission report, Marnie Gellner will show you some rousing competition right here on Gophers Hockey, FSN North Style.
We've played 2 periods, but no one has scored just yet. The Sioux and the Gophers after 2 periods in Grand Forks. Welcome back to our second intermission. I'm Marnie Gellner. And you Gopher fans know how you love to stand up and cheer and sing along to that Minnesota Rouser. And now you have your chance to put your own twist on that song. Yes, your version of the Rouser. We're running a contest here at FSN North where you can make the Rouser, send us a video, and have it submitted, maybe win our contest here. And we'll show you an example of the entry that we have received so far. Even Bucky Badger can wear a Gopher jersey. Here are the details of the contest. Submit your own rendition. You can win 4 tickets in the FSN North Suite to the Minnesota Duluth Gophers game on March 7th. You can also produce your own segment on FSN North. You can either email your video to gopher@foxsports.net or send it by traditional mail to Gopher Rouser Competition, 1 Main Street Southeast, Suite 600 at the Minneapolis 55414. We'd love to see your version of the Minnesota Rouser. And Golden Gopher fans would love to see at least 1 goal in the 3rd period. That's coming your way shortly on FSN North.
FSN North.
It should come as no surprise to you in a 0-0 hockey game through 40 minutes of play that the goaltenders have had significant roles in this one at either end, both Philippe Lamoureaux and Jeff Frazee.
Both have been stellar. See some action on it right off the get-go here. Watkins comes in. He can't quite get the puck through, but here comes Oshie. It's behind the back pass. Vandervelde gets a chance right at the doorstep. And now this is the one, the mystery shot. It was rolling, but it ended up dying right on the line. And a little bit of disagreement as to whether that should have been a goal or not. And Oposo, who's been very good tonight, gets the puck down to Wheeler. Wheeler tries to knock down the back door. He can't get it down. Oposo up again. And Lamoureaux makes a big save. This is a nice play by Wheeler. He finds Coffin wide side. Coffin is on a long shift. Didn't have much left in the tank. Doesn't quite get it done.
Our Chrysler stats include 26 Minnesota shots on goal. Oposo, Wheeler, and Fairchild each have 4 to lead all shooters on both sides of the ice. So it's 0-0, and the Fighting Sioux can really turn it up in the 3rd. We'll see what happens next. Golden Gopher Hockey on FSN North is brought to you by Dodge. Live strong, live bold, live now, Dodge. Grab life. And by McDonald's, where you can enjoy big taste on a small budget with the $1 menu. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Welcome back. Still no score. We're getting set for the 3rd period. Once again, joined by Mike Gensel from the Gopher staff. 26 shots. Any tell that you guys see as coaches you can tell your players about the puzzle that's been Lamoureaux?
Well, I mean, obviously we got to keep getting around the front of the net. I mean, we've got to work, as I said in the first intermission, to try to get offensive side positioning. But we're trying to throw some pucks up to the point right now and get some deflection goals, get him moving side to side a little bit because he tends to take away the bottom of the net very, very well. So when we get in tight, we got to get the puck upstairs.
Thanks for your time. Go turn on some red lights.
We're going to try.
That's Mike Gensel. Gophers trying to solve that puzzle. 0-0, Frank and Doug. Doug, you got lit up on that bubble hockey game. Maybe you can find some karma for the Gophers offense and turn on some red lights now in the real game.
Well, there's a good chance right there, Kevin, as you speak with Blake Wheeler. Nearly solved Mr. Lamoureaux by beating the D.
Well, it's not been a lot of goals scored throughout the league. The plethora of goals are not coming. Last week, Friday night's games, 10 teams, 5 games, 16 goals scored.
Say the numbers again.
5 teams, which means 10 games, 10 playing games, 16 goals scored on Friday night.
Pretty skinny.
Pretty thin.
The Golden Gophers in the 3rd period have been outscored 18-10 in the 3rd, but Minnesota fans will, I think, shake in their boots anytime you think about playing the Fighting Sioux in the 3rd period, as they tend to roar to life. Their 3rd period numbers are not so dramatic this season, as Lamoureaux has to cover up again. We told you that their bread and butter period this year has been the first when they've outscored opponents 15-3. There's only a 2-goal differential for the Fighting Sioux in the 3rd period this year.
Oposo made a nice different kind of a draw. He went right to the net with the puck on the backhand, kind of dragged it through Vanderbilt. And I'll tell you, Oposo has had one of his strongest games all year, if not his best.
Here's a little tip to get the puck by Duncan out to center ice, and Bickle and Fairchild will go back for it. We mentioned Cade Fairchild, one of 3 Minnesota players with 4 shots on goal in the game thus far. Here comes Oposo with Lucia and Flynn for the deflection, and a toe save by Lamoureaux. Boy, 2 guys, Doug, that we've been talking a lot about. Oposo with a nice setup there, and Flynn with yet another chance in front.
Yep, no question. Nice play by Oposo. Come in, drop short, find the weak side guy. Now, Flynn's got to get a little more on the puck, though. He said it week after week.
Here's a shot in the goal. A rising shot. Might be Colby Getaway, and it's the first goal of the game.
It was Getaway. The left hand, if it wasn't him, certainly was Duncan.
Getaway.
Little kind of a mess up there. Look at Oshie make the nice backhand pass. Slides it over, screened all the way, upside. Sioux take over here. That'll get some energy in this building. Getaway going upstairs. A rocket.
I think the earlier look, the earlier replay on that goal showed you the screen in front of Frazee. Still he was down. And on their 12th shot of the game, well, let's make that officially now their 13th shot of the game. They have their first goal. So the Golden Gophers positively stingy in shots on goal through 2 periods now. The first one of the third goes in. Now it's shoveled by Hoefel to center ice. White and Howe bring it up the rink and into the zone. Howe dumps it behind the net. Bina is there. And it's in the air and out of play.
Probably the next 2 minutes, maybe the next minute will be crucial factors. The emotion has started here in this building. Getaway off the screen. You can see that goaltender Frazee did not see that puck. Now, is it his job to get his neck turned around? You might say so, but his body was right there. Boy, I tell you, Minnesota has got the work cut out now.
Yes, they do, because Philippe Lamoureaux has already thrown 3 shutouts this year, plus 2 periods of shutout against Boston College in an abbreviated game, plus 3 more games where he's allowed only 1 goal. And from center ice, it's thrown in by David Fisher. LaPointe, checked by Pohl. A bouncing puck on the far side. Martin's had a problem with it. Here's Kaufman on a backhand, and that gets rejected. Now Fisher. Getaway gets the goal, and Oshie will get the lone assist.
A drop pass behind his back. Oshie right into the Getaway.
And dumped in from center ice by Chorney, and a race for the puck, Matt Watkins. Fisher for Minnesota, and now Derek Peltier. Taken away by Ryland Kite, and taken away by Watkins. Kite back to get a loose puck. Captain of the Fighting Sioux rings one off the pipe, but Frazee is there to cover up again.
Well, that's the second pipe for Frazee. One on the Oshie rush in the first period. In the play here, Sioux fans are starting to react. Coach Caxtell said at the lunch today, they feed off their fans, the fans feed off them. Well, there wasn't much grazing going on the first 2. Certainly is now.
And this is our second look at the band in the student section right across from the benches.
And I like Frank, they gave first choice right in the center of the rink, the students.
Fighting Sioux winning 7 of 8 games when they score first. Here's Oshie playing it back to the point for Bina. That's the other note on that, Doug. They've only scored the first goal 8 times out of 16 games.
I tell you, Minnesota lost a step so far. They got to get it back.
This is Bickle and back to Fairchild. Off Lucia's skate at center ice. And they're still going to call it icing. I thought it hit his skate.
Yeah, it did. He was on the short side of the red line.
All right. With the icing, we get a stoppage. Genoway has the only goal of this game. We have a very wide, and we're very appreciative of our audience across the country, and we pass on very sad college hockey news with the passing last night of a good college hockey friend of everybody, John Barkin, at the age of 39. His hosting Barkin Bash at the NCAA Final Four every year has just been a fixture. Gosh, we're going to miss you, John, and our best to his wife, Elizabeth, and their children. Here's a centering pass that comes off the skate of Brian Shack, and it bounds loose. Jones over to get it, and from center ice he'll throw it in. David Fisher back with just a few seconds gone here in this period, and Chorney back out at center ice. And boy, look at the Fighting Sioux skating around now with much better posture. Heads up and in like they're in control of this game. From behind the net, here's Peltier. Long bomb for Barabal. He gathers it in, puts it in the slot for Wheeler that was wrapped off his stick. And in a hurry, here comes Ryan Martins with a lot of spring in his step and a long shot that takes off. Might have been deflected by Fisher. Martin's waiting for the puck, but it was blocked by Wheeler, and now on the far side of the rink to Fisher. Back to Wheeler on the far side. He's stripped of the puck by Chorney. Gordon has his man tied up. Wheeler, but could not control, and here's Miller.
Wheeler looks like he's almost sick, Frank. He's not.
And this shot gets deflected. I was thinking about the same thing.
You know, he just looks like he's getting pushed out of the way. He's working his fanny off. He's doing good things. He's trying.
Well, he doesn't look like the same Blake Wheeler we saw in the first period.
No, it's just like he's got a case of the flu or something.
Here's Finley. Good catch by Bean. A nice play to get it in over the line for Watkins. Splits the D, but couldn't get the shot off. And I think there was some good coverage there. But there might have been a slash as well as Fairchild is stung. And now from behind the net, tough quarters there. And Kyle Oposo quarterbacks this one right up the rink. Cole spinning and trying to get it back to Oposo. He gets a pass of a piece of Finley. And Watkins to Finley. And behind the net to Bina. And now they break out to center, and now they're connecting on their passes. Watkins fires, and a save by Frazee on a good 35-40 footer. There's going to be a penalty here on Ryland Kite for taking a run at Bickle. He missed, but the stick was up high. Delayed penalty on the Fighting Sioux. The Gophers, as you see, have pulled Frazee for an extra skater. Oposo will throw it in. Lamoureaux will get his stick on it, and the whistle will finally go here. Charging.
You know, I'm not so much. That's not such a bad penalty. One, come a little. It isn't that he took a lot of strides, but he glided for about 10 feet. Used to be he could take 2 steps. I don't know what the exact technical rule is today. Third one costs you minor, because he didn't really skate. I don't think.
They also didn't get a very good hit. Quite well. I didn't think it was a very good hit.
Sounded loud. Maybe
sounded loud.
Yeah. Minnesota.
I thought he might have get him for a high stick, even though, you know, you can get called for a high stick, even though you don't make contact if that stick is up there. But anyway, Minnesota will take this opportunity on their 4th power play. Wheeler wins the faceoff. Gordon and Howe are up front. That's an interesting combination, but Kyle Oposo, I think, just played the last 90 seconds of the period. And here's Fairchild to Howe, and a steal by Duncan. And then Howe still having fits, but he gets it to center ice and Barabal, bringing it in with Wheeler. Wheeler shooting a goal! Blake Wheeler snipes one in just inside the post on the far side to tie.
Frank, that's a little justice. Minnesota has dominated most of the game except for about the last 6. Nice little play by Barabal, keeps possession, attacks. You notice, folks, he takes the backhand pass, gets it over there without turning and opening up. He doesn't open up, he lays the backhand so that weak side defense from Genoway can't overcommit. Nice job. I love it when the guys come in and they use the backhand on the backhand side. Wheeler just caught the corner. Another inch, and that thing's widened to the left.
The goalposts have been significant factors in this game. 2 of them that the Fighting Sioux hit. 1 of them that Blake Wheeler has just hit, and it went in. Tied at 1 on that power play goal. And And Finley and Kaufman in a chase for the puck.
I think that's mental medicine for the Gophers too, Frank. They needed something, needed infusion of interest.
Boy, I'll tell you, you talk about a tough goaltender to solve. Here's Watkins, stopped by Frazee, and then it's Lamoureaux. It had to be a perfect shot, and it was, and there was a near takeaway there by Kaufman. 32 Minnesota shots on goal to 18 for the Fighting Sioux. Again, the numbers are unofficial, but pretty indicative of the play. Now here's a long pass by Trupp, way too far for everybody icing.
And good for the Gophers it was, because Peltier did not have the wide side.
Barabal and Howe will both get assists on the Wheeler goal at 7-10. His 34th career goal. And for the Gophers, only their 10th power play goal of this year. Wheeler and Oposo each have 3. They lead the team. That's all.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Minnesota now can show whether they regroup that energy, come back, and that gets the Sioux defense like they were in the first 2 periods.
At the line. Here's Weirs to dump it in. And now to center ice. Duncan with Oshie. Frazee a glove catch, and he will hold on as we approach the halfway point. Listen to Blake Wheeler tie it. We'll talk more about Ryan Snowa's rehabilitation in the first of 2 parts. And more to summarize this game. Kevin Gorg will be with us. Jeff Dubé. Great to see Marnie Gellner.
Yep.
Who's not far from home, although I've forgotten the fine town that she hails from up here. But that's on this side of the Red River. I know that.
Right, we got to tip our hats to the Gophers in their play tonight. Regardless of how the outcome goes, they've been stellar, and some of the guys that have answered the bell have been the kind of leaders. Poso and Wheeler, even though Wheeler looks a little bit weak, he's competing. He comes up with a big goal.
Well, here's a 2-on-1 opportunity, and this shot gets deflected as Flynn was breaking hard for the rebound. And again, Kyle Oposo a factor, another deflection this time by Lucia. Been a pretty good line here. Here's Bickle. Through a screen and missed.
You wonder why. Sometimes the puck never goes in.
Here's Lucia in a pitched battle with Chorney. And a mismatch in size there. A great play to Fairchild. That caroms off a couple of skates. Jump ball. Oh, and it was closed in with a glove hand, they say. Oposo.
I'll tell you, nice job by Tony Lucia controlling that puck with Chorney chewing at his ankles. Oh. Strong enough to get the puck out to somebody who can do some Oposo, giving everything he's got. That was Fairchild's shot from the point. It lays around now, jumps up in the air. Whoa! Right, see, I didn't think he...
No, he didn't.
I didn't think he had it covered, but...
It matters not. And they'll face it. I guess the worst part of it is the face-off out at center ice. And now they have to chase to maintain possession, as that whistle blew with them in a pretty good scoring position. A little problem there at the side of the net for Zach Jones. And a outlet pass too far. Do you remember when the Fighting Sioux had the lead? Every pass was tape to tape. Oh, now we're tied again.
I know. It's just like
they're struggling on the passes, and this one leaves the rink.
Breakouts on on University Avenue out there, you know. So it's just the way it goes. You get that rhythm, you get that good feeling, and you're relaxed. Now that time, Genoa came around the net, threw it up in the audience. Maybe it was nice to give pucks away, but it certainly didn't help Dave Hextall. You're right, Frank. This guy that's in the goal has been pretty special. Lamoureaux, he's looks so comfortable, looks so good. His numbers prove it. I can see, I thought the Sioux would show us a little more offense than they have. The goaltender's been terrific.
Here's a puck back to Howe for a screen shot, and Lamoureaux makes the save. Well, the Ralph Engelstad Arena, this new one, this $100 million deal, has been around since 2001, but only a few teams have had success. Again, Doug, your crayon will show you that only Denver, Wisconsin, and Minnesota have 500 or above records against the Fighting Sioux. They have dominated teams like UMD, etc. Tough to win here, but interesting that they're 3 big rivals, if you will allow that point. Denver, Minnesota, Wisconsin with the most success here. That probably isn't a surprise, but I think the swing there, the disparity between the haves and have-nots is a bit of a story, and we have yet another scrum here. Okay. And the first to be escorted off. Anderson drawing away with Finley there.
He's drawing upwards. What I like about it, Anderson's protecting his goaltender. Last week he stood next to the guy in Michigan Tech. He got one in the face. That was a grab face back by Bozak. But anyway, last week he stood and watched a couple guys put the puck in net. He didn't play for 40 minutes. Here he's in defending his goaltender. Alone, I think, is the guy that went, but initially I thought it was Bozak that was in on the play. RJ.
The second and third penalties of the period went with the Ryland Kite penalty a little bit earlier, which led to the power play goal for Minnesota.
Still got the Minnesota gate open here.
So they want more than Anderson, or
somehow or another.
We're talking to Harry Broadfoot now. I wonder if it's an equipment issue that they want to get R.J. Anderson a piece of gear before they start play.
His helmet came off once earlier. Maybe he's got a bad strap. Remember down in the corner in the second period, he lost his melon.
Now they might need to have somebody. Well, look at the debate here. Now it involves Mike Genzel. He's saying, look, his helmet is getting fixed, and now they're going to give him some. They're going to give Shaq's helmet
because he's got to come on the rink. He can't come on the rink when the penalty's expired unless he has full equipment.
Right.
So now he's got somebody else.
So now we have a size issue.
I've got Shaq without a tin cup.
Yeah, and R.J. Anderson swim in Brian Shaq's helmet.
Well, size, length of body doesn't necessarily dictate the size of it.
I just wondering. Barabal with a takedown at center ice by Turney.
Hey, Turney.
Here's Duncan. 4 skaters aside. Long screen shot. The rebound will not go. Wheeler had a big part of that one. Now Barabal to center, and Wheeler, they hit the line hard. Wheeler to the net. The pass just ahead of him. Barabal. You were saying something about Minnesota being placid 4-on-4?
Yeah.
Not there.
That's right. That was a sneak reminder.
Here's Fisher. Misses everything. Oh, the D nearly caught in a change. And now here's Genoway, who has the first goal of this game. Gets it out at center ice. Fratton and Frazee paddles it to the corner. Vandevelli's there to get it. Chris Vandevelli from Moorhead. Peltier to Oposo, but it was deflected and swept back out to center. Vandevelli bringing it in. Swept away from him by Fairchild, but Vandevelli puts out the middle for Bina just a bit too far. Bina, screen shot, knocked down in front, it hit Fairchild. Fairchild takes his man to the corner, that's Vandevelli. Now Ryland Kite trying to roll to the middle. Ran into the check there of Fairchild, still gets the puck and scores! That could be a punch to the gut.
It's definitely a heavy blow. Minnesota having trouble getting out of their zone. Not many times tonight, but there's a muck job in. Vandevelli playing with Kite. Great shot, nothing wrong with the shot. Nobody to cover, he found that upper corner. One thing about the goals tonight, they've been pretty good ones.
Well, that one well placed, the 5th of the year and 13th career goal for Ryland Kite at 11:37. Comes less than 4 minutes, let's say 3.5 minutes after the Wheeler power play goal tied it. And North Dakota back up now 2-1. Doug, was it a coverage issue or a passing issue? Minnesota having trouble getting it out of the zone.
Yeah, they just got in the scrum there. And then puck bounced over. the Sioux were battling. There was a little interchange there. Nobody's real fault, just that's the way the puck bounced.
Van de Velde and Bina assisting, and a long shot here by Trupp is blocked by Frazee. 24 shots on goal now for North Dakota. 12 of them have come in the 12 minutes that we've played here in this period. Long pass to the right side, and brought into the Minnesota end, a backhand try by Malone. Check into Kozak, and they're tenacious on the puck again until they throw it away to Lucia. Right side pass, and it hopped away from Peltier. Make that on the left. Here's Gordon to pick it up. Tony Lucia in the corner. And here's Oposo. Pass to the point was deflected by Kozak out of the zone.
Well, you're going to see the Sioux try to tighten it down a little bit. They won't send 3 guys. They'll probably keep a 1-2-2 situation going on the forecheck.
Minnesota's only goal in this game. Here's a chance now for Oshie, winding and firing, and he fired it right on. That had to sting a bit, but it was knocked down by Jeff Frazee, Kobe Denaway, and then Ryland Kipe, and it's a 2-1 North Dakota lead.
Marathon phenomenon is going on now.
They're wearing a lot of green tonight, and here's Art Menard's game reset with Ryland Kipe getting the go-ahead goal after taking a penalty that led to Wheeler's power play goal. Shots on goal, 34-26 at this juncture of the game. Jay Baraball finds Ben Gordon, gets it out to center ice. Ryland Kipe gets bumped, and now it was played with a glove.
Bina get an assist on that goal also. Little miscue in the middle of the rig right from the Gofer goaltender, and boy, I tell you, Kipe, got to give him credit. Instead of throwing it wide, he put it right up the stairs. Some nice shots, nice goals here so far.
Sniped a good one. The Denaway goal was a good sniper shot through a screen, which gave them a lead at 1 minute and 37 seconds of the period.
Wheeler's shot was right up the corner.
The roar here is they just threw our partner into the bus here. You know, they waited for the Fighting Sioux had the lead, then they announced the bubble hockey score here.
And Holy Cross is out this weekend.
Oh dear. Another little Doug there, Dig mentioning Holy Cross on the PA.
Yeah, when you win, say little. When you lose, say less. But don't say much at all most of the time.
There's a chance on the far side, and a little dance in there, but not a very good one by Brad Miller. Didn't get the shot to the net. Actually, I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen and heard more of that Holy Cross thing. I've seen one sign and no jerseys.
Well, shouldn't live on other people's troubles.
Of course, now we need to explain the reference that the Gophers lost that NCAA game here, the Holy Cross. Oh, there'll be a penalty here.
That was mailed in after further review.
John Campion makes this call.
I think the call's right. It's got to be the same day, though.
All right, here's a look.
As he stays in front, look at him.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Doug.
No doubt about that.
Okay.
But, I mean, there was no call to begin with. Yeah, he got him a little hate.
I thought he, looking at it live, I thought he just fell over him. I didn't see the swing. 5th power play of the game for the Gophers. They've had 5 shots on goal, including the Wheeler power play goal, which tied it at 1. Well, will Minnesota's bread and butter be the special teams? Here's Kyle Oposo as they go against one of the best penalty kill units in the country. Here's Flynn with a check. Fisher with a block. Oposo behind the net. Oh, it barely got through. Lucia shallow angle. 1 whack, 2 whacks, and the whistle. And that puck was a little bit loose.
Minnesota got their 2nd power play. We'll see if Coach Lucia comes out with the first. Nope, not right now. But Minnesota has suffered through the year at 11%, 12%, 13, sometimes 10. Has never gotten above 15, I don't think, Frank, all year. And here's where you need one. You need to come back, tie the game, best be it done here in a power play.
Yeah, because there's only 5 minutes left, and here's Oposo with Flynn in front for a deflection and a goal.
Absolutely well designed.
Smooth as silk.
Dave, Oposo showed an awful lot of composure walking in. It looked like he was going to shoot it, and he just laid it right over to Flynn. Dave, Minnesota deserves to be in this one by the way they played for 55 minutes, and now they get a chance again. Here's Oposo rolling up. Now you lay the puck right out to Fisher. Fisher strong enough.
Oh, hit a skate. Hit Bina's skate.
Well, I was giving Fisher Flynn more credit than he deserved. But I think, oh my God.
Wow.
Well,
that was, what an interest. Did we tell you about surprises in this series?
The unexpected is to be
expected. Boy, we've had it. So it'll be an Oposo goal if they credit it correctly. 2-2, Duncan, great play, and there's a whistle. There'll be no goal.
Helmet off. Oh, boy.
Bearball's helmet is off out at center ice, and Kerry Eads is having to be restrained by his head coach.
How did he get off? That's going to be the question.
Well, now the pom-poms that they gave away free here are starting to rain down on the ice. Bearball number 26. Maybe on the near side here. His helmet is off. Oh, yeah, he got a little noogie there. Gets dumped. Helmet comes off there. No problem with this whistle. Oshie took his helmet off and cost him a goal.
I don't recall all year total the number of helmets come off.
I think we had 3 here tonight while they clean the debris. Oh, and it's ugly out there. At this juncture, I would say Dave Hackstall has Derek Shepard's ear.
You know, Shepard's...
Folks, this has been going... How long was our commercial break here? 30 seconds? That's how long that one-sided conversation was happening.
It looked like the Lions and the Vikings in there having this great friendship fraternity where they were the referee was under the hood. Here were they all paired up with friends.
A 4-goal third period, and it all starts about 97 seconds in. A screen shot by Cole. Oh, that took off. Might have been deflected up high. Barrel ball to Wheeler. A bell ringer in the power play. And Ryland Kite snipes one. 2-1 fighting Sioux. Then a power play. We think it's Kyle Oposo's. Off the skate of Bina. Officially still Ryan Flynn's goal. But we'll see if they change it.
Wow, he's heating up at Old Ingolstadt.
The Wheeler goal was at 7:10, and then the Oposo goal 7 minutes and 48 seconds later. And then the no goal here on the missing helmet.
It's kind of reminiscent of the game the other night on TV where the Ravens were playing the Patriots, and the coach called timeout right before they stopped them at fourth. So anyway, Minnesota survives that one, but that's the rule. You lose the helmet, whistle's got to stop.
Especially when your opponent rips it off your head. Yeah. Here's Lucia and Bina. Back out at center, and a spot for Fairchild. You'll see a couple of brown streaks on the ice. We think it's soda, open soda. Offside at the line.
Actually, I thought that was onside, Frank. These guys have done such a great job all night, but the AR had to be in near one of the advertisement boards that said at the blue line where the play was, and I think he had a bad angle. Now this is where your defensemen have to be pretty solid. They got to get the puck, push it up, let the play stay in front of them.
Bounce past Chorney, and he'll go back to get it. Oh, here's Gordon.
He has been quiet tonight, Mr. Gordon.
Fisher playing it back in. LaPointe from behind the net. Kite lobs it to the Minnesota line. Pass Peltier Watkins. He's tied up. Kite stapled. It bounces off that check by Gordon. Couldn't get the shot to the net. To the blue line, LaPointe. Now to Chorney. Nearly lost it to Gordon. Watkins in the corner. Kite tied up by Wheeler. Oh, Peltier fanned on it. Watkins turns and shoots and scores!
Oh, your goaltending has to be there. Minnesota got out muscle at the puck.
Missed assignment in the corner, too, I thought, Doug. Couple of breakdowns, and North Dakota back up by a goal.
Watkins has been just a solid player all night. That thing went off the inside. I think it went off the inside. Some of these are getting difficult to see. There's a muscle job down in the corner. Here's Watkins curling out. He risks it up in the air. And it might have gone off the Minnesota stick, but it went inside. Wow, I tell you, bad angle, regardless of how you call it.
Watkins, 14th career goal.
He has been noticeable all night.
Yeah, he has, and it's unassisted at 16:23. 3.5 minutes, a chance for North shooting! And the loose puck. Whoa. Finally, they decide who's going to get it. Well, there are a couple of Gophers there that absolutely looked like they were afraid to touch it. Now it got deflected by Malone. Taken away at center ice and brought in by Trupp. Trying to beat Peltier. Circles and centers. Here's a shot by Malone and a goal. It can be a tidal wave in the third period in this building, and I think we've got one.
Well, it just came off the winger there. Too much disorganization by the Gophers. A lot of guys in one central spot, and nobody spread through the rink.
Coverage, but not quite.
I'll tell you, this group's been tough. That's Trupp, Kozak, Brad Miller, Malone. I think Malone got the goal. Yes, he did. He comes in late. He feeds off the nice grub there. And nights when you're coming in off the bench and the puck is free and you get nobody in the net.
We had a scoreless, a 0-0. Two-game score. 6 goals have been scored in this period. 4 goals have been scored against the Golden Gophers in this period. Boy, are they struggling in the third. It's the 22nd goal they've given up in the third period. And now, what, 17 games. Fairchild shooting for a deflection. The rebound comes loose. And a 2-goal hill to climb with 2.5 minutes. Looking pretty tough. Flynn and a whistle on the near bench. We go to freshman Cade Fairchild for his thoughts on Minnesota's third periods.
Team needs to play 60 minutes. It's not, it's not a 2-period game. That's why there are 3 periods. And, I think, like I said before, I think we've gotten a little passive at times in the third period, kind of letting them play and, kind of, playing off of how they're playing. And I think, more than anything, we need to stick to our game plan and stick to our guns and, stay on the attack and stay on the forecheck, not, hold back and, let's play defense and let's try to keep them from scoring.
Well, they did play passive in their own end in the last couple of shifts. And North Dakota has the lead. Wheeler trying to dance in his way around past Bina. To the line for Fairchild. He barely kept it in, but it'll be turned over to Watkins. And flipped in ahead. Ryland Kipe goes after it. Golden Gophers with only 1 win in their last 4 against the Fighting Sioux. Were swept at home last year in 2 games in the regular season. And then split a pair of postseason games. 95 seconds to go. This long shot, and Frazee deflects it up, and the way he danced, I was wondering if it stung him a little bit.
Oh, it certainly did. Is that Kozak again coming off the left side? I mean, just an absolute rocket. Thing was climbing. Kozak, we've mentioned a couple times tonight, what a wonderful shot. Watkins can fire it too. Jackson Genoway there. My gosh.
Off the upper arm, you think?
Yeah, right off the
shoulder.
little bone there, yes.
Oposo and Vandevelde. The draw to Oshie, and now played back in by Genoway. Take a look at the shots this period. 18 for the Fighting Sioux. They only had 9 in the first 2 periods.
Yeah, it looked like they were sleepwalking for a couple of periods up until about 3 minutes left in the second. They had a little flurry there, and they came out in the third with a little more jump. Minnesota has not made the big save, though, Frank, either. Some shots have been ticketed. It's kind of a combination. Good shooting and not spectacular goaltending. Here we got a little goalie change here, or timeout.
Or pull them for an extra skater, yeah. But, you know, through 2 periods, Doug, we're talking that Frazee made, I mean, it didn't look like he made game-turning saves, but he made saves to keep the team in and give them a chance to win. And now I think a lot of things have just fallen apart here in this third. I think coverage has been pretty bad, too. And here's a look. We go back to the Genoway goal. And then the Wheeler power play goal. Ryland Kipe will have a great shot. Gave him quite a bit on that left side.
Yeah, awful lot of net there when I look at that.
And then Oposo would put one in off of Bina's skate. That's the way we still see it. Although they're giving it to Flynn, and now they'll come out of the corner. Uncontested.
Somebody got caught on the inside there.
And then around the net. And Malone the tapper.
Looks so easy, doesn't it? All of a sudden, so much else going on in the game, and all of a sudden you break it down to a couple of highlights, and it looks like, my goodness, this was, you know, scores to be 20-20. But that only happened like out of the blue.
Well, the shooting percentage during that sequence there was pretty good. With 1:19 to go, they have pulled the goaltender, Jeff Frazee, for an extra skater. It'll be Wheeler, Barabal, Flynn, Oposo as the forwards, Peltier and Fairchild, the 2 defensemen. 6 skaters in an effort to get 2 goals in the final minute plus to tie. Here's Barabal. Wrapped that by Bina. Wheeler fights through it. Back to Jay Barabal, quickly to the point. Fairchild, a blast from Oposo. And then the goaltender Lamoureaux went down a little bit easy on the bump from Wheeler. Less than a minute to go in regulation, and it's lobbed in the air. It bounces towards the net, but it'll go way wide. They're going to wave it off, saying Fairchild could have played it. Now he's in a spot, and he spins away from Duncan and got it to Oposo. 40 seconds left. And at this point, a tie would be a lot to hope for. Here's Oposo up the middle for Wheeler, and it's off a deflection to the corner. Fairchild, Peltier, slap shot, right on! Time for our Abra hits of the game. There will be several. A Wheeler, a Kite. Didn't get that truck's number. That's a Bickle. And a Barabal. And early on. Oh, Lamoureaux! A sensational glove catch. Here's Sports Illustrated in the building.
Yeah, he put a little mustard on that too, Frank. In other words, he sliced it up a little bit here. He made a great catch, but he could have caught the puck and stayed on his feet.
But he knew Sports Illustrated was in the building.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You know, I was just going to say earlier, he made a play that I would have said was diving. He made it look like somebody hit him.
Wheeler. Going through the crease.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and I was just going to ask if we ever see that call, because he does it at the best.
That blast by Oposo misses. 9 seconds left. There's a turnaround try by Barabal. Wheeler will go after it, and now the Gophers were just praying for a goal there, not for the score, but for a saving grace. And a horn brings it into the game, but not to the activity, as Kite belted Gordon. And now the fireworks are going off again. Wheeler and Kite are the last 2 players to come out of the far left wing corner. Our Dodge player of the game with a game-winning goal and an overall excellent game, Matt Watkins.
I'd agree with that one, Frank. Watkins, Bozak, Kipe, all pretty good.
Plenty more of Gopher hockey coverage coming your way for a preview of Quest Gophers Live post-game show. Here's Kevin Gord.
Thanks, guys. A lot to get to in our Gophers Live post-game show. We'll get sound from both the locker rooms, try to catch up with the head coaches of both these teams. We'll have some interviews and some highlights. And again, we'll get to your text questions here and answer as many as we can. A big full half an hour of Gophers coverage. North Dakota scores 4 in the third. They beat the Gophers 4-2. Stay with us. Lots to talk about when we come back on Gophers Hockey here on FSN North.
Quest Gophers Live starts now.
There wasn't a lot of scoring in this one until the third period. Jay Genoway got it started for a 1-0 UND lead. Then it was Rylan Kipe after Minnesota tied it, so that puts Sioux back up ahead. Matt Watkins from the tough angle, and then Brad Malone capped it off. 4 North Dakota goals in the third period. Minnesota also scored 2 for a total of 6. All of the scoring came in the third, and the UND Fighting Sioux beat Minnesota 4-2 tonight in Grand Forks. And we want to welcome you all to Quest Gophers Live. I'm Marnie Gellner along with Jeff Dubé, who's a little bit sulky right now. But
no, I tell you what, we saw a great one tonight.
We saw a great game.
And I think the stage is really set for a big one tomorrow. The Gophers, from the first 2 periods they played tonight, will have the confidence to come out here and know they can play with this team tomorrow. They've got to shore up the problems that have killed them all year long. Bad third periods, a couple of defensive breakdowns, and goaltending that's not quite as good as it could be. But for 2 periods, the Gophers were the better team. They were the more aggressive team. They had the more chances. They had the better chances. And I think they're going to be a confident group that's out looking for a little payback tomorrow night. That's going to be a good rematch.
And there's no question Minnesota was the better team the first 2 periods. The worst thing that could have happened to the Gophers was that we saw on the scoreboard a 0-0 game.
Yeah, it's always a problem when you're out playing a team and you got nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. But I had a lot... I was impressed by the fact that they could fall behind not once but twice in the second period and battle back and get goals with a power play unit that came in clicking at just over 11%. So there was another trouble area where you saw a little bit of improvement. You knew they had to be led by their big guys, you know, guys like Wheeler, Gordon, Bearball, Oposo. And you did see Wheeler and Oposo come up big in the third period when you needed it most. But again, you got to finish. I mean, this team just has not learned how to finish yet. That's partly because they're a young team. It's partly because they just don't have that confidence yet. But they got to finish these games. They've got to be better in their own end. And when they do break down, they need a goalie to bail them out once in a while, and they'll be all right.
They did entertain the fans here at Engelstedt Arena, and hopefully those of you watching at home as well. Let's continue our coverage as we head upstairs to the guys who called this entertaining and physical game on the Toyota post-game wrap. Here are Frank and Doug.
Marnie, thanks a lot. You know, it was a physical game, and from the get-go it was a physical game, Doug. I thought the Gophers, through at least 2 periods, answered that call very well. They came out, they played as gritty a game as they need to play to get some victories. They weren't rewarded here tonight, but for 2 periods, they were bumping pretty good.
Yeah, 38 minutes to be exact, Frank. Getting in just to the final part of that second period without being picky. But look at, you saw the finishing. Minnesota was strong on the puck. They put pressure on the Sioux. The Sioux were sleepwalking a little bit too, so we didn't really see the real Sioux. They came out fired up and they turned it around the third. But, you know, little things make a big difference in a game like this. Minnesota did not, and honestly, get the same type of goaltending that Lamoureaux gave the Sioux, and that was the difference. He gave, you know, one off a skate by Bina. He only gave up 1 goal, and that was off the pipe.
On a power play.
On a power play, yeah. You know, and I thought that was a major difference, because Minnesota did give it its all.
Well, the third period was another indication of how things can unravel here against the Fighting Sioux, and maybe the Gophers have experienced it more than other teams this year because the Fighting Sioux are playing their other opponents pretty even in the third, but they had some pretty good sharpshooters going on this one. And I thought Minnesota not only could use some goaltending help, could have used some better coverage as well.
Yeah, that's true. They broke down there in a couple of plays. Here's a breakdown by a defensive trying to carry the puck. Fairchild, which, you know, a young guy that makes that play. And then Kipe throws it up there. There was an awful lot of net showing. Here's a play that it actually hurt Lamoureaux because it was a deflection. So, and honestly, he gave up 1 goal. That put Minnesota back 2-2 and looked like it'd be life. But what happens? There's a bad angle goal. We really don't know if it went off the stick or what happened from the angle we had. But you don't score from that. Not in a 2-2 game. You got to make that play. And then it's a little bit disgusting when you have a wide open net to shoot at when you're playing for the Gophers.
Well, so many things were going in the Gophers' direction, but then when they unraveled, then this team suddenly looked like perhaps they didn't deserve to come up with something good happening for them. And the 4-2 period, 4-2 score collapsed in the third period, Marnie. Pretty much sealed their fate on this one. all those good things for naught.
Unfortunately, that is very true. Frank and Doug, thank you guys so much. They talked a little bit about goaltending. Jeff Frazee was in net tonight, and after 2 periods, shots on goal were in favor of Minnesota, 26-12.
Yep.
The problem is, when it all came flying in the 3rd period, so did a few pucks behind Frazee.
Yeah, there's no doubt that that Lamoureaux was the better goaltender tonight. It's just, it is what it is. You know, for 2 periods, Frazee was not tested much. Lamoureaux was. The fact that the Gophers could outplay North Dakota to the extent that they did for the first 40 minutes and not come away with the lead was crucial. And Lamoureaux was absolutely the biggest difference in this game. You see some of the saves he makes. He's in good position on these. He's not overreacting. He's not moving more than he needs to. He spends time on his knees, but he's still strong with the high shots. He's good with the glove. But like I said, he gets to the knees quickly. He shuts down everything low. You think he could beat him high, but you saw him get really good, really quick with the glove. There he's quick with the blocker. And there again, another example, on his knees, but good with the glove upstairs. Had everything covered, and again, he just was in position. You know, he's not overreacting. He's not moving too far one way or the other. And like to use an example, on North Dakota's 4th goal, the goal that finally put it away, when the North Dakota player went around the net, you saw Frazee overreact and slide too far to his left, leaving the right side of the net open for Malone, who was trailing the play. Now that is the kind of play that Lamoureaux, he doesn't overreact on. He stays in position, maybe keeps his feet a little bit longer, and then he's where he needs to be when that trailer comes up with the second shot. Frazee's got better hockey in him. We saw it in the second half of last season. If he regains that form, then this team could be okay.
And there's a very good reason that Lamoureaux is the reigning WCHA Defensive Player of the Week. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage, and Kevin Gord will be on the ice with Brad Malone, who scored the final goal of this game tonight.